Hey, Laura, it is a treat and a treasure. It's a pleasure to be here with you, by the way. We're like in the green room, so we can just relax, okay? Just a few folks are going to eavesdrop maybe on our conversation. But I'm curious, maybe during the show, I'll read that long bio that you had that will take the whole show. But do you mind taking a moment and telling folks who is Laurel and what are you up to these days?
I'm up to a lot. So who am I? I grew up on a farm in Nebraska. I've raised two kids pretty much as a single mom. So I have a 20-year-old son and a 13-year-old daughter. We live in northern Nevada, and I have been teaching money since 1996. So, and not just the concept about money, like really, how do you do it? So, a little backstory. I have a finance degree. I have an exercise physiology master's degree. I took those degrees and I built fitness centers on offshore oil rigs for Chevron, and I helped that whole health and wellness, thing start in the early 90s. And then in 1996, I wanted to really get back to my finance, and I love teaching. So I was teaching health then, now, and ever since 96, been teaching wealth. And I met Sharon Lechter, Robert Kiyosaki, and I became the master distributor of their cash flow game. So from there, what was really prevalent is, people hear a lot of other gurus, and the message is then, how do I do it? It's like there's the how to. So I just knew in 1996 and then 99 became a millionaire in real estate and gas and oil, that I was going to be the how to girl. And I'm very unapologetic. I tell you exactly how it is. If you want the truth, I'll tell it to you. If you want like rah rah and happy joy, that's probably somebody else. So I don't say that because I don't think it's important. I was in The Secret. I believe in all of manifesting and law of attraction. But what I do different than anyone, Shay, is I get money in people's pockets as fast as they need me. Literally send their bank account.
I love that, as fast as they need it. And, that's going to be very important. But can we just address the elephant in the room if we can? These are very challenging times. We're in uncharted waters. I mean, I've never seen anything like this. I'm not sure anyone has. I'm just curious, while we're behind the scenes, what are you telling your clients right now? What words are you sharing with folks out there that are building their businesses today?
Well, what's interesting is that the millionaire maker, act, think, and make money the way the wealthy do in the Matrix, it stands in all times. It's classic. That's how millionaires are made. The difference is how you navigate. So what I'm telling our folks is, never more than before do you have to learn to navigate. I mean, I can keep being your coach and mentor and telling you, do this, go, 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 go. But now you've got to lean in and learn, and you got to go quick. So what's different about this time is that it's not a V, meaning it's going to pop right back out. But it's not a long 2008, 9, 10. You have got to move, and you got to move today. So the first thing I'm telling people, and I can go into more detail, but is stop the bleeding. Get your number of your monthly expenses and spending. I hate the word budgets. They're like diets, so don't ever use word budget. We call them spending forecasts, spending plans. Get your spending in order and do everything you can to conserve as much cash as you can, because the opportunities are right now. There is so much going on in, I'm seeing there's at least 6 to 8 asset classes that people can become millionaires in. And what's also different, Shay, now than ever before, it's not just one group who gets to take advantage of the greatest transfer of wealth. Anyone can do it. A millennial can do it to a baby boomer. So right now, it's an indiscriminate time. That's what I'm telling people. So if you want to get wealthy, or even just get your financial house in order to be a 100,000-aire, it's better than being a nothing-aire. And then if you really want to be a millionaire, we'll go there. But I'm telling literally it's indiscriminate. No age, race, country, asset class is going to win. 8, 9, and 10 was about real estate and mortgages and all sorts of other issues. This one is a pretty indiscriminate recession, and we're in it for a while. And that's what people don't realize. They think this is just a little blip on the radar. I'm going to go back to work. Bullshit, you're going to go back to work. No, you may or you may not. And there's a lot of choices. So what I'm telling people is to wake up, get off a vacation out of your layoff time, and start making some real decisions for your life. You have no excuses. You're not driving your kids around. You're not taking them to school. You're not taking them to sporting events. You aren't going anywhere. So this is that time to finally, for the first time in a lot of people's lives, take learning money seriously.
Now, one thing I admire most about you, by the way, other than you have a heart to give and a heart to serve, is you even during these times, I love being behind the scenes. I love this, by the way, is that you work with folks who could be a single mom out there that's just getting going, or it could be someone that has assets right now and is trying to make sure how do they leverage what they have. Take a moment if you can. Let's just talk to the entrepreneur right now, just about mindset real quick. And the person I was talking to recently that says, look, I'm a full-time work at home mom now. I'm a full-time wife, full-time entrepreneur. I'm now a full-time school teacher. I'm now a full-time administrator. She says, I'm also now a full-time cook because I got to be I'm in a cafeteria person now fixing meals, and it's got a little bit of overwhelm. And she says, but I want to get my business off the ground. And it could be a man. I don't want to discriminate, but I'm just curious. What are you saying? Because I know you teach mindset as well, but what are you saying to folks like that have more on their plate they feel than they ever have, but they want to get other streams of income and they want to build their business?
So I don't believe in the word balance. I think balance, and Alex Mendoza and I, we started out of our careers together. We were neighbors, and we were always talking about, this concept in the coaching world of, the wheel and having balance. And, I remember I was just on a walk one time and I said, if you also look at it from a different perspective, balance is also like a scale. And if you balance, like really, you're stagnant. So I don't think you balance. I think you have it all. And you have it all your way. So now you have to go to what you were just saying, the amount of things because you can't get help. Like I have home help. Are you kidding? Like as a single mom, the first thing I did when I had my son, knowing I was going to be a single mom, I knew that by week 6, is I got really organized. I had 9 months to get organized, to find a nanny, to reorganize my household, to reorganize everything. You don't have any damn time. Like this all just kind of collapsed and you're here. So this is family engagement time. So this is your family is going to lean in and they're going to learn. So, one of the things we're going to talk about later, but a lot of people are, I said, play Monopoly, play cash flow, and play my game, The Millionaire Maker. Like have the money be part of the conversation, have the kids and the family be part of this new entrepreneurial venture, if that's possible. And then you just kind of got to delegate some tasks to the family. And honestly, especially you women, stop feeling guilty about having a perfect household. Who gives a crap? No one's coming over. Who cares? You can go pick up food. So you got to get some priority around your time because you only got so much. And it was so interesting. I was just talking to somebody right before our broadcast. And like she said, I miss the office. She said, the office gave me like this concentrated space. She said, working at home not only has become 5 days a week, it's 7 days a week with the distraction of the family, right? Let's be honest, and then some people are just checking out from their business and hanging out with the family. So for the first time, you have to make choices and get timelines and get calendars. Like for this time, I'm going to do this, and then we can go out and take a hike, and then we can go do that. But you have to organize your structure. But I'll tell you, without money, it's not the most important thing, because I'm always accused of that. Loral always talks about money. I said, well, it's my topic. If you talked about God, if you were a preacher, all you do is talk about God. So I talk about money because it's my topic. I don't think it's the most important thing, but I can guarantee you it will have the most impact of any of your choices of your life. And from the minute we walk into the planet to the minute we walk off the planet, you have had to deal with money. You've had to buy things. You had to sell things. You have to think of the choices you just unconsciously made because you never sat down and said, I need some money rules. I need to understand money. I need to understand debt. Most people are scared to death of debt. Are you kidding? I'm telling a lot of my people, go get in debt. Go get in a lot of debt. Get as much money, as cheap money, free money that you can get right now. The problem is without the other education of what to do with your money, you're going to end up really, really broke and huge consequences later. So this is a really serious time. And people, you even asked earlier, why I'm actually doing more broadcasts, more education than ever probably in the history of, I would say my collective life, because my gosh, I'm always out and I'm always educating. But I know that our work, I have world leading economists. I have another one on my broadcast today who are like looking at my content and material and saying, there's a lot of shit out there. Your stuff is dead on. It absolutely is dead on. You got to stop the bleeding. You've got to increase your cash flow immediately, and you got to start getting your money to work quickly. So all of that should be your highest priority, because right now you're at a moment of time. You can fix your life financially for the rest of your life. I already have people that have doubled their net worth. I have people on track in less than a year to become millionaires. It has never been easier and harder because of all the, stuff you just said. So you got to prioritize the stuff and get really serious, carve out time. And for your business, you really do need to take it serious. Like get a home office, like organize it. Don't have it just be the extra bedroom. Take all that crap, throw it in your garage or put it in a storage unit. Like you got to get in that mindset and that frame, that state, as Tony Robbins said, that state of I am going to make this work. And I would encourage some of you that are laid off, I'm going to work with you on it. Like, just so we know, whenever people meet me, I say, this isn't the first time, we've just begun. I just assume you're going to work with me because we know what I'm doing. And I have a huge team. This isn't me. I have a massive team of great people. And I want to help you make money. like immediately. I want money in your bank account. Nothing's going to change your life and mindset faster than, oh my gosh, I don't care if it's only $10. It's $10 you never knew how to make. I don't care if it's $20. It's $20 you never knew how to make. I would like when we're all allowed to go back to work for you to make a choice and say, you know what? I don't have to go back to work. I'm going to change the way I'm working. I'm actually going to be an independent. I'm going to start my own company. I'll work for the same company, but not as an employee. And then your life will change because you have tax strategies. So I do know every little detail of this from a strategy standpoint. And I love helping people. I love the light bulb. That's probably the moment I love when they're like, oh, I get it. Like, oh my gosh.
I just love it. For those folks that are tuning in right now, you listen to the one and only Loral. She's going at it right now. She's coming from the heart. Do me a favor. You have her permission. You have my permission. You can pay this message forward. How do you do that? Hit the watch party button. Hit the share button. She said, we don't just have to hold it to ourselves. She can share this message with your network. You can share it into a private group. You can share it into Facebook. Hit the share button now. When you hit the share button, just go in and put, it's your time to be paid. Just put, it's your time to be paid. And that's the benefit. You'll learn how to serve. Yes. She'll teach you how to build the money, but you also can take that money. You can do so much good. So for Amber that's just joining, and Linda that's out there right now, and Chrissy is out there, and Calvin and Murphy, and so many who tune in, hit the watch party button. Pay the message for it. And don't worry. I'm gonna ask her. I'm gonna ask her what's the number one thing she's doing right now. Don't worry. I'm gonna ask her how she organizing her day right now. Don't worry about that. But first, I want to slow down and then recognize Eric Swanson, because Eric Swanson connected myself to Laura, right? And he did it at a time where some folks operate from a place of scarcity and some folks operate from a place of abundance. So I'm going to ask Laura to do two things. Number one, talk about the power of collaboration in times like this when some people are fight. And number two, a little bit about Eric Swanson and the great stuff he's doing over at Habitude Warrior.
So Eric and I, oh my gosh, he would tell you a very funny story about how we met. I won't repeat it because I think it's a little bit off, but it's fun. It's super fun and funny. In fact, you've never heard it. You need to ask him to tell, how did you meet Loral? And it's at a time I was just divorced. So I was, hanging out with a lot of people. I'll say it like that.
Okay.
So, I was having fun.
I'll ask him.
Anyway, so we met, and then I was like, we need to meet. And so we went over and we met, and we have been collaborating ever since. What he does and what I do, his people need what I have. He recognizes that. He knows there's a lot of people who say they teach money. There's a lot of mindset people. I got 26 co-authors of The Secret. That's mindset stuff. I'm to your wallet. Like, where do you bank? How do you get good credit? How do you talk to a credit card company? I'm in the guts of it. I'm in the infrastructure of your financial, most people don't even know how to balance a checkbook. Most people live by a checkbook. So I teach that stuff. Eric's people love it. I travel, I don't even know how many years. I have been a lead speaker on his Habitude Warrior stage. My son is in his Junior Habitude Warrior books. He has taught for him. My daughter now teaches. She's 13. I teach for the kids. Our charity is financial literacy for kids. Whenever an adult becomes a client of ours, for the rest of your life, your kids won't pay. So I have kids in their 20s now, because I've been doing this for so long, that literally have become millionaires on paper and in their net worth of the legacy of their family. And I have kids that are crushing it. Like some of the top gamers in the world, quite honestly, their parents came to me and said, you have to teach my kid to not game. I think I met him at Habitude Warrior, actually. And it was so funny. They're like, you have to teach my kid to not game. I said, why? Let's get him on the circuit. The kid won some game at $250,000, playing some, I don't know, game. Anyway, Eric's amazing. We collaborated all the time. He just had a big birthday. We won't tell everybody how old he is. And I keep telling him he needs to come and work with me in some of the projects we're doing. And we adore each other. He's like a little brother, big brother, depends on which role in the day.
and just a great guy. And I think you laid out the case for the spirit of collaboration and why that is so important. For those folks that are watching, you're tuned in, by the way. We've been in the green room. We're going to go right into the next room, by the way. You guys have been behind the scenes. I don't think we've ever had a behind the scenes segment this long, but Laura has just laid it out. I mean, and she's so frank. So before we we're moving to a segment, but Laura, I'm just curious, why do you still do this? I mean, you don't have to do this right now. You don't have to be here pouring out what you're going to share secrets that they would have to be behind the scenes. They'd have to be at one of your events or in one of your programs. You're going to help people today. She will change your life if you will let her. I'm just curious, before we get into the good stuff, why do you still do this?
Well, it's interesting because this was I call it, my 2020 transition year. So a lot of transition. I have I just have projects that I am really going to dedicate a lot of my time, and they're big legacy projects. And those are in the works and going to continue. But when this happened, this event, and I knew that, and not only I knew, I mean, a lot of my mentors and just colleagues said, I know how to help them stop bleeding. I know how to there's just so many tactical things that most people don't know, that even from working with banks now, how to get these loans. There's so many things that I just know. I think it's a ripoff. And I think, honestly, in this moment, if you are blessed with the content or the talent or the message that people need in today's world, because a lot of it's crap and you don't need it today. Let's be honest, right? There's just, everyone's pouring into the internet and they all have something to say. And I actually believe people have something to say, but is it today? I'm a big person about sequencing today. If your money isn't organized today, why would you go work on your sales to put in a bank account? That's wrong. Today, fix the infrastructure of your financial life. Then let's go pour more money into a right structure. So I think it would be an absolute ripoff for me to have said, in this time, in my transition year, I'm going to check out, because I could. And it was a huge decision. I was in a show in Reno, Nevada with a live audience, March 11, 12, 13, when this all came down. And it was a huge decision whether we're going to stay down. And I'm going to tell the audience what we're doing, because we aren't staying down. We're course correcting. We've become a broadcast show. And I'm going to prove next week that we can do what we do in live rooms and help people make money. I can't guarantee, because I can't guarantee people's behavior, but I can guarantee if you do everything I say, you'll make money. And you'll do it in a few hours. So why do I do it? Because I was blessed with this content. It just keeps coming, by the way. Because here's what I think about content. I think, Shay, for a lot of your listeners, if you're not constantly giving the content you were blessed with, I don't think you're getting any more. So these folks that are out listening, and you're like, well, I have a book, but it's been 3 years since I wrote it. Well, you don't get book 2, 3, 4. I have 5 New York Times, and I did year after year after year. I did 5 in 5 years. New York Times, hit it. So, and I still have more. I just, I've done a whole bunch of different kind of books, but hitting a New York Times bestseller once is a hell of an accomplishment. And I'm not saying that to brag about it. I'm talking about the download of the content that you've been blessed with, that you're being selfish with, and you're not collaborating with, and you're not giving it out. Now, there's a whole capitalist part of that I'll explain in our next segment. And I'm talking about collaboration, creativity, and capitalism. That's actually my 3 C's. So I was going to save that for the next part, Shay, but I think it's really...
Go ahead. You can go ahead and jump into it right now. I mean, this is not your first rodeo. It's her second. It's her first one with me, okay? It's her first. I'm joking. But in all seriousness, give us those 3 C's again. What are the 3 C's?
I'd say, collaboration, creativity, and capitalism.
All right, so here's what I want you. Here's what I want you to do. Everyone is watching right now. You can pay this message forward. Laura showed up, and I don't know if she knows, but her team knows, but she didn't ask for a credit card. She's not getting a Cash App payment. Ain't no wire transfer. She's here to serve. And so hit the share button. And when you hit the share button, just put Laura is teaching now. What are the 3 C's again?
Collaboration, creativity, and capitalism. And if you say, about capitalism, don't even judge what I'm going to talk about. Capital is cash. So if you have to put a different word on it, we're talking about collaboration, creativity, cash. The real word's capitalism, but if you got to give it another word, give it another word.
Well, I won't even be that technical. Just hit the share button and put Laura is teaching now. Just put Laura is teaching now. Time to make money. Just put Laurel is teaching now. So share it. You can take the link right now. You can put it into your private group. Some of you have mastermind groups. She's okay with that. So we don't have to just hold it right here. You can broadcast it out to the world right now. So everyone hit the share button. Thank you so much. We believe in the giver's economy. The person that outgives the competition out-earns the competition. The person that outgives the competition out-earns the competition. So hit the share button right now and put Laurel is teaching now how to make the money. All right, Laura, give us the 3 C's. This is cool. This is cool. I can't wait.
So collaboration, and I've lived in collaboration in teams forever. In fact, when I first kind of jumped into this, and McGraw-Hill was my first big publisher who put me on the grid, and I did a 3-book contract in the Millionaire Maker, Cash Machine, and Wealth Cycles, which is basically how do you make a millionaire. How do you do it in business, and how do you do it in alternative asset classes? And so it's all education. And so I've been collaborating forever, and I coined the word team-made millionaire because I thought the arrogance, and I'm sorry, but the arrogance of men who said they were self-made millionaires had amazing women behind them or next to them, including their wives and children. So I said, heck with self-made. There's no way anyone's self-made. So that was kind of the beginning of my collaborative conversation. And I teach team-made millionaires. Like, I have a huge team. Like, when you join our community, it's not me. Like, I'm not the expert in everything. I have tax strategists. I have world-leading credit repair people and credit lending help, payroll help, to how do you extend your credit cards? How do you get through this time? How do you do spending? How do you do, which is not budgeting? How do you decide where you're investing? I can't tell you where. I'm not a financial planner, but I can tell you there's some great categories. I mean, the market's an obvious one, but I have a software that will make sure you don't lose more than 3 or 4%, not 30, 3 or 4. There's all sorts of techniques that the wealthy know that most people don't know. I have, like, here's the 6. I'll just say, and you collaborate. And so how do you collaborate? Also, you collaborate in investing. So here's what's going to happen, and it's happening. Some of the businesses are falling down completely right now. And the only way they're going to stay alive is they're going to have to get a partner. And that is like, an investor. So, even before Shark Tank gave us a name, and I don't really like that word, but like, sharks are going to save a lot of the world. I hate that word, right? I'm going to say really gracious investors, collaborators, because we're going to see a Subway store, a local restaurant, a car dealership. We're going to see somebody about not really, being able to figure out how to make their mortgage payments. So, you know what? Somebody's home might become an LLC and a joint venture. The people can live in it. They're now going to become renters, and they're going to have an investment partner. So there is more knowledge about how to collaborate and save yourself than there is to sit out there by yourself and just say, oh God, I don't know what I'm doing. You don't know what you're doing because you're not willing to ask or lean in and say, these are stupid questions. There's no stupid questions. It depends where you met me in this conversation. I mean, one of the gifts we're giving everybody that's reading it is my 4th book called Put More Cash in Your Pocket, which is one of the most critical things you got to do right now. It's just get your family set. Now we can breathe and collaborate. And some of you, part of getting it set, you're going to have the oh shit moment that you don't have enough money, you weren't organized enough, and you're going to need a collaboration partner like now. So collaboration is massive in the money side. And then, of course, what we're doing, Shay. Like, it's great to meet you. I want Eric. I told him, I said, get me on as many broadcasts. Like, let's share this real money conversation. And mine is not just US based, even though I speak a lot of US based because I've got a lot of years. I'm married to a Canadian. I've taught this content in every continent but Antarctica. I just couldn't get the penguins to come to workshop. So when people say, well, she's just, US based. No, I have a ton of Canadian clients because my husband's Canadian, and I've damn near lived in Australia for 3-4 years, UK, South Africa, a lot of clients, and from all over the world.
Wow. Really, really super. Now, I know one of the things that you're doing right now for the person that's out there, and they're like, okay, I got to create my content. Is that something that I can do in a short period of time? Is it still okay to do it in my home? What recommendations are you given? Let's talk about 2 types of folks. The one person, let's say, is not just getting going. They've been going. They still generate less than $100,000 of revenue. They had a few coaches along the way. They've been to a few boot camps. But you work with folks like that, and you take them to an entirely different level. And they're like, I like the idea of content. Does she help people do that and help them be able to sell it and so forth? Take a moment and talk about how you have systems in place to do that. Because for some of you, that's exactly where you are right now.
Yeah. So what's different probably is because I have surrounded myself with a massive team, like this collaborative team. So on the other side, we have a lot of business development. We can help you get your website up in a very affordable way. I've already wrote how many books? I actually have over 50 books, about 5 New York Times bestsellers. So if you're going to hire somebody to help you write a book, I kind of would be in that category. I know how, as far as stage speaking, your stage is now here. So how do you transition to here? How do you get your content up quickly? I write my books. I talk my books in less than 3, 4, 5 hours. When you get to it, it's done that fast. And there's systems to do it that fast, not take months. So absolutely. The creative part is getting content. I don't care who you are, even if you're a restaurant, right? So my 3 C's were collaborate, creativity, capital, which is cash, and how to manage and have it on a daily basis and create what I call a revenue producing day. But the creativity is really for, the people who have been brick and mortar, the lawyers. How do you get online stuff when the courts are closed? How do you navigate? What's interesting in the legal side? Can I just share some of the things I'm seeing that are unprecedented?
Absolutely.
And systemically, it's going to change us forever. So, like, courts are closed, DMVs are closed. There is so much that's going to be so backed up, you can't even imagine, like, the tentacles of the thought to get to a reset button to go back to even a new normal I don't think there's going to be one. Some of the stuff's just going to be done. It will never be performed or seen in that light again. So like I've seen lawyers try to get to mediation just to get cases settled so they can bill their clients. I have seen accountants do all sorts of Zoom meetings they've never done. They're not sitting going face to face. Are they ever going to come back out again? That's interesting. Restaurants having to get super creative. Like there's, and behind restaurants and helping a lot, there's supply chains. So who in Northern Nevada, right, was going to deliver all this material to the casinos? So some of the local restaurants in Reno called, I helped them and said, get to the supply chain, move their toilet paper, which everybody seems to be in need of, which is so freaking odd. Paper stuff. The paper towels, Clorox. So yeah, I think all the stuff that's being delivered, even the stupid chocolate mint that people put, I shouldn't say stupid, but all the stuff that's was getting delivered to hotels and casinos, it's all backed up somewhere. So that product has to move. It has expiry dates. So get creative about how you can become. So some of the restaurants here locally have become like the marketplace for that food chain, that supply chain, and to move those products for people. They've taken all the lemons and limes and oranges that were supposed to go to a bar, and they've moved that fruit and that product through their restaurant. So there is so much creativity and decision making with that creativity. Like there are some folks who had small businesses under 100,000 because they really were running a mom and pop and didn't get above that 100,000. And I have a program that guarantees you'll get above 100,000. You have to be almost sleeping to not make 100,000 if you really want to be an entrepreneur. Anything under 100 is painful. So, like I'm going to say chiropractors, hair salon, anestheticians, like people who really need and do hands-on work, massage therapists, acupuncturists, where if they were really running in a mom and pop, and I have folks that I know in all those categories who I said, you can't go to your shop and work, right? Because you'll get shut down if you're not essential. But what if you're not licensed? What if you're just damn good at cutting hair? Can't you meet me in a park and do my hair? Mm-hmm. At our own adult decision and consent. And some people watch and go, oh my God, that's social distancing. It's my choice. It's their choice. There's a lot of sanity. There's just, how are you going to get through it? I tell you, so many people get creative, get online. Like, how are you going to make money? The creativity, and I'm going to say the content. So back to your question on content, like even the folks, like I'm working with several restaurants, hair salons, chiropractors. I said, take your content, like get that content online. So unfortunately, they're way behind the curve because they've never really had a website. So now I said, don't just sell the typical hair supplies. Teach people who now are at home for, and self-disclose a very long time. But some people don't want to go out,
Yeah. And as you're doing that, to speak to the folks out there, a number of folks that are watching our mini Lorals, that's what I call them, where they were doing live events. Some of my clients, their stuff has been wiped clean for the next 6 to 9 months, right? They're pushing everything into the next year, and they've got to have a shift. So take a moment, because you work with folks who were already doing events and they were trying to get them going. And now all of a sudden, okay, they know they got to get a camera, but just positioning, learning the skill set and doing it from a virtual platform is a change for them. Take a moment and talk about that.
So I'm going to put a seed, your content, right? So you have to take collaborative, creative, and content together. Mm-hmm. First of all, if you are, and I'm getting more technical, but I intentionally didn't care. I have a team. So if you don't have a team, you need to get a team. And then you say, well, I can't afford a team. You can collaborate to that team. You can say, right now I can't pay your exact rates, but I can pay different rates. And together, like, let's work together to make the creativity of what your broadcast and what you do. I think the folks that have been speakers for other people are the ones that are suffering probably the most because they didn't know their database, right? They were just hired guns. And where's a hired gun going to go today? Because no one wants to listen to a hired gun. You know what I love about this moment, though, for us who are real, who don't sub our work, who are always like, I'm at every workshop. I don't go out and sell somebody's brand and their name and then you never see them. So I would think that the consumer should pay attention to authenticity. So the guy that was the hired gun, I think they are having a bigger shift. The guru who, didn't want to have to go get real is going to have to get real. Like really get to know your client, get to know your students, and get to know like what can you really do for me, and be discerning about that. Because there's on the other side, there's a lot of people who are technical with crappy content that are actually outperforming the people with good content because they weren't very technical and they still can't figure this shit out, how to get online like this. And I have to give you huge kudos. Like the way you were doing this, like when Eric texted me or, just contacted me about going on Skype, I'm like, I had to go like relog in. I like how do you even get on Skype? It's like, Skype? Like, I haven't heard of that in years. But I love that we're doing it. I love that you figured out how to do a multiple platform. In fact, I'm probably going to borrow back this interview and put it on my podcast, right? Because that gives us, again, it's another collaborative thing. I could rebroadcast, and we will, or I could take this and redo it. So I think a lot of the folks that were hired guns are going to have a heck of a time. Here's what I would tell those hired guns: come call me, and I have an exact solution for you, an exact solution. But I'm not telling you today.
Yeah, no. You're giving some good stuff today. I know that you're gonna have a way that folks can stay in this conversation kind of over and beyond the day to kind of get going. And we're gonna bring it up. We're gonna frame that conversation in a moment. But do you mind? You're so authentic. What does a day look like for you now? Because I know for me, when I first started, it was kind of like I'd run to the TV and then I'd see what's going on. I'd start working, and then after a while, the phone would ring and somebody said, "Oh, so-and-so got sick," or whatever it is. And I was like, "Oh my gosh." And then I look up and I get back to work, and then my text message would come in and it'd be someone else's, a challenge that's going on. So what is a typical routine for you like now today that you're not traveling, obviously? And how are you keeping your mindset where it is? And let's talk about how we can help people make money in their business. And I know there's a way for you to do that as well.
Well, one of the things I'm going to tell people is I've had a mentor and a coach since I was 17 years old. And one of my first one it wasn't in any formal structure. In fact, some of my, I would say, world-class coaches were people like, that didn't have a big name necessarily, but really were available, right? And I know, like, what I promised my, mentee, my clients, is they have my cell phone. I mean, I actually have two now. It's gotten so crazy. They have my cell phone. They have my team's number. Like, within 24 hours, they will get a response, like super, super, super tight. So I've had a mentor and a coach. I think you need to have a mentor and a coach. I could not even imagine navigating. I mean, I think of the people who have no money skills. I mean, none. It's the most interesting time. So why am I still doing it is because I think this time, my hope for people is that you actually finally lean in, you learn, you take some financial responsibility and knowledge. Like, why is your car worth more money than you're willing to pay for your financial education? And you have no interruptions to do it today. You can still go down to the bank. You can still fix everything I'm going to tell you to do with your financial, that infrastructure I call it. And I'm talking about basics. This isn't financial advice. This isn't telling you where to do a stock. This is a basic infrastructure of your financial certainty for you and your kids. So I'm super passionate about that. I love that kids are more involved this time. Go back to your question. So what's my day like? So my day is, I'm still kind of deciding my day because because like we're a very collaborative team. So we're used to working around a conference center with, screens up and being together. So we do still, have different times where we meet. So being home, thank God I have very, very responsible children because my son is home from school, from Georgia Southern, and my daughter's, home from, middle school. So they're extremely responsible. They're doing their work. My son also worked with the company because he has accounting finance skills. So most of my day is broadcasting and serving clients, like our clients that have, been clients for a long time, because I have in one part of our community, I have, what's called the lifetime value for you and your family. So people can come back as many times as you want. So I have people from 17 years ago, right, that I haven't even talked to, but they know they can always call me. They can always reach back in for help. And, there's some of the older, more mature and millionaires, or 100,000aires with cash, are now reaching back saying, what do I do with my cash? Where do I put it? And, what are the asset classes? I mean, there's private marijuana deals that are just booming right now. Crypto is very, very freaking risky, but very on track with the right people. You got the market, you have private capital, you've got real estate, you've got businesses that are failing everywhere. So how do you do that? So my higher net worth and people with money, we're in those conversations. So part of my day is having those conversations. And I've done is I've kind of grouped them with my team. So like we have what's called, different calls during the day. So depending on where you are, we send you to more group calls, which then can filter you into one-on-one calls. So we're doing our best to handle the large client base we have, number one, to serve them. And we're helping more and more people even if it's somebody that's a $97 new client, how can we help them today make money? So we're organizing our staff, which has been very skilled at doing this work with me, and sharing my staff to help a lot more clients and getting more and more people helped. So I'm probably doing more content than ever before. And if you notice, I'm unscripted. I don't have to go research to make this up. I have a Millionaires in Training group that I'd love all your people to join. So that's free. It's just a Facebook group called Millionaires in Training. And from day one of March 11th to now, I have gone broadcast every day in very specific sequence of what people need to do. So I won't repeat it all here. They can go watch it. But there is a financial first aid kit for those who are suffering or still not figuring it out. The first aid kit is kind of we made it into a product, and it stops the bleeding, it redirects your cash, and it gets you in a stable position, right? Gives you some first moves. Then if you have, it's very creative. Like I'm having more fun, more deals, more creative conversations, probably really, Shay, because people are engaged finally.
Yeah.
This is why I did this work my whole life, to say, wouldn't it be great if people actually gave a shit about money? And wouldn't it be great if they actually got creative and got fun? Like my community was formed in 1997 with a partner who's has since passed. And the vision was this, because I was really young. I've always hung out with people way older than me because I was made way more money than my young friends. And I always want to travel around the world, and they didn't have enough money or they had to take off work. So I got older friends that had a lot of money. So this was me in my 30s hanging out with 50-year-olds. And then even in my late 20s hanging out with 40-year-olds. My point is that the vision of this community was, wouldn't it be amazing if a team of experts that actually were alternative, cared about the people, not the fees, and what they're going to get on the stock market and all that crap. What if it was cool if we had 100, 200, 300 people who actually just wanted to find deals? Like collectively, when we wanted to own a car dealership, we wanted to own a franchise, we wanted to own some real estate. So, and to do it as an individual is really hard, but to do it like collectively is kind of a cool idea. And, just not like, and I'm not talking about like big stuff. I'm talking about 3 or 4 of us. Let's go, I've owned a pizzeria with 2 people. I've owned a hair salon with 3 people, and we flipped them. I kept some of the stuff. I have real estate with maybe 4 or 5 people, or I just own it myself. But there's this collective thinking, right? The ultimate money mastermind that I don't think it has been formed anywhere else. And it is so fun to engage in conversations. And even if you don't have a lot of money, can you imagine being a fly on the wall like your green room was?
Yeah.
Like, I just want to learn. Like, even if I don't have the money, here's what I know. Even if you don't have the money, you're going to get motivated. Going, I need to go figure out how to get some money. So I can go I can promise you there's going to be more businesses falling down, and it's not today. So get your money together today. Let's help you make some money so you get organized, because businesses in your town are going to fall down. Harry Dent was on my broadcast the other day, world leading economist. And he said, he had 21 restaurants around him where his condo was, and only 6, this was in Puerto Rico when they had the hurricane. And of all of those restaurants, only 6 came back up. And I think we're going to see the same thing. I think we're going to see people making decisions after they've had a little bit of break at home to say, do I really want to go back to the grind, especially a restaurant, if you don't know how to do it? I'll teach you out of a restaurant and never have to show up. But do you really want to go back to it? Do you really want the grind of 10 hours of haircutting? Do you really want the grind of being, developing content all day long, right? Here's what's different about this. You had asked about content and creativity, like this versus a stage and the stage people.
Yeah.
When I go on a stage, and it's been interesting, I pretty much gave the same talk over and over and over, and I sell the same workshop that people come to month after month after month. So you don't have to get very creative. You have to kind of learn the one thing, and then just get good at the one thing, and you learn how to see it, close from stage on one thing, and then you rock in, you rock out, you go home, and you're done. This is different. This is constant, 24/7. So I think your day, and if you aren't blessed with an enormous amount of content, how do you repurpose it over and over and over and still appeal to a larger audience? I think that is going to be a challenge for a lot of people who either haven't been blessed with a ton of content, which I would say then you got to open up spiritually to a whole different thing, but that's a whole different conversation. Or get some help. My God, let us help you figure out what's the thing that you're so good at. And a lot of you, again, if you're not good by yourself, which I don't think anybody should do anything by themselves, partner, collaborate, go find some teammates. It makes this thing way, way different. But I think some people are going to have a heck of a time. Like I said, the hired guns who taught somebody else's stuff, what are they going to teach now? They don't want to hear from somebody else. They want to hear from you. They want to hear from me. Mm-hmm. There's no sub.
Yeah. And what makes it so powerful is 2 things. One, I want you to take a moment and talk through, I know there's something special you're doing for folks that are out there that are like, I need to do something. and I'm looking at different options. I'm looking at what's available and who can take me to the next level. Not only who can get me going, but who can get me to the next level. I know your team's been behind the scenes doing some incredible work to make it possible for folks that are out there to at least be able to get access to the resources that they need to execute, I believe, 3 visions they have. I believe some of you have a vision for yourself, the clothes you want to wear, the organic food you want to buy. Some of you have a vision for your loved ones. It takes resources. It takes money. You want to write a check for their healthcare insurance. You want to pay someone's mortgage right now. And then some of you have a vision for the people you were called to serve. That's number 3. And the only way you can serve them is you need a website. You need a team. You need branding. You need marketing. You can't execute that without resources. And the only way to get resources is to have revenue. That's cash. And so I want Laura to kind of frame it, if she would, and kind of talk through kind of some things they've been doing. Give us a little peek. Pull back the big black curtain. This guy named Dr. Moore used to say this. Pull back the big black curtain, if you will, and reach into the treasure chest of secrets and kind of share some things you guys are doing behind the scenes. If you don't mind, you don't have to, but you can give them a little sneak preview.
Yeah, and so behind the scenes, we're putting. Again, I have enormous content. We've been doing 20-something, 30 days in. It's all unique, all different content. It actually is in my books, which is so interesting. People are like, oh, I read that a long time ago, or I've never heard that before. It's like, but you have my books, you haven't read them. So what's interesting is to be able to freeform sequence content. So what we're doing is then packaging it for different people and their different needs. The other thing is the creativity is something I haven't done for a long time, because I have this big saying for people who want to scale, and I'm completely contrary to this advice right now, is I say, if you customize, you can't systemize. And that's true when you're on a big build and you're hitting a growth trajectory. That's not today. That is not what you need to be thinking about today. And if you let that thinking collapse into this conversation of creativity and collaboration, you'll be paralyzed. You'll do nothing. Because remember, indecision means nothing's happening. So we're being super creative, and we're being super, it's like our C day today, Shay, because you start with the C too. It's not only creative, we are going very custom. So here's what I told my team. I said, when you talk to people, I said, I want you just to do what I call my ask, tell, ask. Ask them what they need, what they think they need. Do a little bit of an assessment. Find out exactly, because we know what you need. You may think you need to get out of debt. That is not today. There's not one of you that if you spend your money getting out of debt, you have absolutely made the wrong decision. Critical, like 911, the stupidest decision you could have made is in this moment to pay that off when you have opportunities to get in it and have your money work for you. Like, that is not today. So assess where you are. And this is where anybody, if you take this technique, all of you could do this. We're asking about your financial, your credit, your bleeding. Are you looking for opportunities? What education do you need? What help do you need? Tax strategies, loan. We're helping people with loan applications right now, getting payroll loans. We're helping people with so many resources. So get an assessment, ask them what they want, tell them how we're going to help them. And I don't care if they say, well, I don't have a lot of money, but I can only afford this much. Customize the package. I don't care. I don't care if it's $397 to $797. Sometimes it might be $10,000 for what you want. And you know what? $10,000 to make you $1 million is nothing. $10,000 to make you $100,000 is nothing. You got to get in order of what you're doing. So we're very, very custom behind the scenes to create cash, but also to create a result and create a collaboration. And some of our clients, another C, become people that are actually on broadcast with us, because they have, like, I have a client right now that does Medicare and Medicaid healthcare, and she was on trajectory with her family. Her family, everybody quit their jobs to do this one thing. We've been coaching them, and I know they were on track they well did over $1 million last year, and what that knowledge she has got to come alive. Right. So, I'm, putting her on my podcast, putting her on my broadcast, because people need that information all the time. So kind of behind the scenes, I think you got to do everything we're talking about. You got to get creative. Activate with your clients. What's better to create a success story out of your own client? Collaborate with content. I'm putting together a recession proof. I think we're going to be in this for 2 years, at least. I think we're not walking out of this soon. We're going to walk out of this slowly. And the virus was the overture. The undercurrent was a systemic reset. Economically, the stock market, the real estate prices in high markets, not in bread and butter markets. Vancouver will be reset. Melbourne, Australia, and Sydney are going to get pummeled. New York and California will get a reset. London's going to get a reset. The real estate market's going to get one heck of a reset. And in its own different way. I'm talking high-end homes, not apartments. I mean, so I should be careful to not have you misunderstand that comment. But my point is there are so many ways for you to collaborate and do cool things to make cash. You've got to get super creative. And if you've never done this before, God, let us help you. I mean, I don't know how to have, and just on a real simple term, Shay, I want to share like our money making technique, because we're taking my monthly workshop. It's called Off Wall Street Assets, and we're going live, and we're going to keep it every month. So the team has agreed we're all going to come together. They all thought I was crazy because we're all collaborating on our content, which is the other thing. If you don't have a lot of content, share with somebody else and collaborate on their content. But we're going to go live on our team. And one of the things that I'm known for is teaching fast cash, like immediate cash today, right? So if you have a book to sell, if you had a webinar, if you have, and here's the other thing too. I'm going to say, just like I'm saying, customize at all costs today, right? Well, I've never said that before. I say customize and systemize. Don't do it. I would say trade your time like you've never traded your time. And you're like, oh my God, that's a horrible business model. For today, it's fine. If it's the only thing you do, you're screwed long term. That's not going to work. But for today, you know what? If people want to buy an hour of my time, I sell it. And especially if they need it. Now, if they don't need my time, I'll sell an hour of the coach that they need time, or an expert. So, when I tell people sell your time, sell 20 minutes for $30, sell $100 for, 30 minutes, whatever the heck you're doing, like allow someone to be served, right? And you think, oh my gosh, I can't sell. No, you're serving somebody. They need your help. And I'm all like, there's so many ways to make money, like today. If you have a CBD oil and somebody needs it, sell it. Go take it to the post office, put it in the mail. If somebody needs whatever you have. So you all have skills. And think for those that are employed, think 21st century lemonade stand. I'm not talking about a big business and invention, big inventories. I'm talking about very simple things, right, that you could sell that other people need. Now, there's a huge surge right now where everybody's going to learn how to do an Amazon store. So that's okay. But here's what we're going to do next week. We're going to create our own Amazon. Why pay them 33% as your only source? And I'm not saying I love Amazon. I have the stock. I love Amazon, but why are they centralizing 80% of our sales? Why can't we, as a community, create our own marketplace? We're doing that next week. Next Thursday and Friday, we're going to have a marketplace. You're going to bring your stuff. You're going to be ready to sell. You got to have either a PayPal, a Facebook marketplace, have a Square, however the heck you want to take money. We literally are going to be transacting a buying and selling marketplace. Now, I do it live in my workshops, so it's going to be a little challenging, but we've done it before. Like I've had a group stay with me for 3 days and learn how to make money. And by the end of 3 days, everyone made money out of 103 people on an online deal. But everybody had to play. They had to behave, and you had to show up. You had to say, well, I'm tired. I don't care. Go get an energy drink. Go drink something. Go run around. Listen to music. Dance. Like figure out how to have some, staying power. And I'll teach you techniques to make money. The one I just shared with you is our $1 trillion tip. It's called Ask, Tell, Ask. Ask somebody how you can serve their life. Tell them why you're the answer, and then ask for some cash. It is that simple. There's just a lot of kind of structure beneath it. But there's the gold. I always give it straight up like that, Shay, because most people say, well, that's easy. And then you go practice it, and then you'll come back and say, well, that doesn't work, because there is a lot of. Actually, it's funny you mentioned Dr. Moyne. He was my coach at one point too.
Was he? I didn't know that.
Yeah, I love Dr. Moyne.
Like him.
So there's a lot of adult learning theory behind Ask, Tell, Ask. It's not as simple. It sounds simple. There's a lot of learning theory, linguistics, NLP. There's a lot behind it. So I want to teach you how to make money. Everybody deserves it and should, because the thing you do is such high value for someone else's life.
Now, is there a special a link or something that you could do for the Happy Entrepreneur Tribe, where maybe they can go to and we could post it for those folks that are like, you know what, it's making sense to me. I think your team's going to send me something, and we can do something for folks that want to be helped. And I want to do that, and then I want to go into that. Today's my January 1st segment, but I want to help folks. I know you have a heart to give and a heart to serve, and you've done some really creative things. Let me know if that's something I could probably click on and pull up, or let me know if that's the right time, or do you want to make some comments first?
No, well, yeah, I want to make some comments. So okay. Here's how this all came about. I was kind of give, I live and breathe what I teach. That's probably what I'm known for. Is in the early, 1999 when I became a millionaire. The way I became a millionaire is real estate and gas and oil, and I didn't know how to teach anybody how to do it. I just did it. And then I'd bring people along, and then they would, like 2 or 3 people say, let's go buy an apartment together. So, 2 or 3 of us would go do that. And then a few of us did that. And all of a sudden it started happening. And then J. Conrad Levinson and I wrote Girl of Wealth, my first bigger published book. Literally 3 months later, McGraw-Hill said, oh my gosh, you know how to make millionaires. We're going to write The Millionaire Maker. And I'm like, I'm not writing a book. You are crazy people. And then I said, I know how to talk, not write. Anyway, so you get a ghostwriter, an editor, and we put this whole thing together. But what's interesting is figuring out and systemizing, which is why I hired Dr. Moyne amongst a few others, is how do you teach what you know? Because knowing it is one thing. Teaching it is another level of play. It is so much more sophisticated to do that. So that all came into play. So given that, I started doing real estate tours, and that's when I started really mentoring and coaching. And I love off Wall Street. I mean, I think the market is like, what's interesting is I'm an off Wall Street teacher. A lot of my stuff, right, that I normally would do is like, I'm in the market. Are you kidding? Who would be in the market? You got to be completely sleeping to not be in the market right now. Now, how to do that is very, very specific, and I got to all-star team who does that for our people. And I'm going to give everybody who signs up a free software. I'm going to give them the software because they need it, and they need to have some consult on how to use the software. And it doesn't make sure you don't lose in the market. It's a cool thing. Anyway, so I started teaching off Wall Street. So I started with real estate. And then I said, well, people should understand that gas oil is kind of cool. Even if you're green, it's got good tax benefits. And then I started buying and selling companies. So then I started teaching that. And I'm getting to the point, I just want people to realize, like, organically is how I learned all this. I'm like, well, I want to go buy a pizzeria. It can't be that damn hard. So I bought a pizzeria and I sold it. I didn't make a ton, but I made $42,000 in 4 months trying to figure it out. Now I knew how to do it. Now I could go help other people do it. So I literally have walked this journey. In 2017, I said, you know what? Cannabis, crypto, and CBD are going to be massive. I know nothing about it. I'm going to get into it. So I applied for 4 licenses. I got them. I'm like, oh, shit. Now I got to collaborate. I got to go find a team. Who knows how to grow weed? I don't know how to do it. So you put a team together. So literally, I've walked the path through all these things. It has been a journey. That's probably why I just free flow all this content, because I do it. My point is, all of you could do it too. You just got to start walking, and you start walking the right path. You're going to bump into some walls, or you're going to bump, back out. And the thing I know most from being in The Secret and watching that principle be taught, it's slow. And so what I did is I created this marketplace technology where you literally, what I realized in this be, do, have model of, a lot of people teach be, do, have. I don't think so. I think you do, you have, and you be. You do make money now. Now you have it. Now you have to be something else, because now you can't say, well, I have issues with money. Well, I just put some in your pocket for you. I helped you put money in your pocket. And they're like, oh, I know. I have a weird relationship to money. I said, well, let's go make some more. Now you're going to have a weirder relationship. At what point, what happens is this convergence happens very quickly where your relationship to money has to shift because you have it. I can have you journal and think and meditate all day about how your relationship to money is screwed up. But boy, when you have it, it forces a transition literally at a DNA level, I think. I don't know if that's technically true, but we've changed lives this way. So in our 3-day workshop, you meet a team. And then throughout the next couple of days, the team all talks to you and shares with you and educates you. And I'm the facilitator of the plan. And several times during it, we go make money. And everybody is going to be pitching their thing. And we're going to teach them how to pitch. We'll coach them how to pitch and offering something to make money. And when you learn that skill, and then we're going to have to take it offline. So all of you need to get your tribes ready and say, hey, I'm going to go do this thing and I'm going to learn to make money. And then you're going to go back to your tribe. And so it's a very cool structure. Normally people pay, well, anywhere from $1,500, depending on the extra coaching, to $750 to $375. Next week, we're supposed to be in Las Vegas, and that's what people paid for this. So for your group, because this is literally the first time we're offering it, we're going to do this 3 days, really Wednesday night, Thursday, and Friday for $97. So now you can put it in.
Whoa, $97. So I'm going to post the link in a moment. I'm going to pull it up so they can see it. That's not it. I'm going to pull it up so they can see it in a second. Let me know. Can you see it now? And the link I'm going to post as soon as this broadcast is done, I'm going to copy paste it and put it over to the Happy Entrepreneurs Tribe. And you have Laura's permission and my permission to take that link and share it with your network. So if you're like, you know what, this is a pretty cool deal. Do they have to watch the show to do it? No. If you're watching the replay, go to the link. If it's still available, do that. Okay. So you can click on it if you're watching the replay. If you're someone that got it from someone else who sent it to you, as long as you get to this page and it's working, that means it's still live and you're going to get here. You're going to click on the link. And then it says Millionaires in Training Virtual Meetup and Marketplace, the most important money event you'll ever attend. Then once they get here, they need to follow these instructions, Laura, if I'm correctly. They've got to hit this register now button, right? So once you get to the link.
And don't scroll down. Don't worry about anything else. Like, and we just put this up for you. So, I mean, we'll put some more fancy things on there about what you're
when you get here, hit the register now. Hit the register now. So if you're listening to the replay, hit the link now. Everyone hit the link. I'm going to show you what's going to happen. Then we're going to hit register now. Now, once they register now, oh, wow, this is $97. That's pretty cool. Oh, this is great. Oh, this is cool stuff. Millionaires in Training Virtual Meetup, which you just talked about right now. For the person that's on the fence right now and saying, wow, I like it. This is a good deal. Is it for me? Is this the right time? It's not about the money, but wow, is this? So this is for everyone. She framed it already who has a product. And this is your time. You also get a chance to meet other folks. Laura, if I can, let me task you. Task it. It's so cool. No. With one, can you tell them the number one reason why they should make sure, if it's for them, they should go and click the button. Once you get the link, I'm going to copy it while you're talking, Laura, right now, and join us.
I'm going to frame who should all be there, because this isn't for just the people who have, first, absolutely, if you have a product. It's also for you if you don't have a product, because we're going to take you through, the minute you register, we're going to take you through what's called the Skillset Analyzer. We're going to very quickly help you figure out what the heck you are going to sell. And you may sell somebody else's stuff, right? So I didn't sell my stuff when I first began. I sold Robert Kiyosaki, Sharon Lecter stuff. I was the Rich Dad Poor. I was on that team. So it's fine selling other people's stuff. Like, I have some people who've already signed up. And by the way, we're closing the doors at 100 people. So I have some people who have an MLM that sell wine. I have some people who are at MLM that sell coffee. I have some meditation folks that have already signed up. I have people that are going to do yoga, and they're going to do that virtually. I have a lawyer who's going to give, how do you navigate when in this economy from a legal and a tax perspective? So they're going to sell education. So all of you can sell something. And if you can't figure it out, we'll help you get ready to sell. Here's the other two groups this is for. Because the marketplace is kind of the big fun thing. But if it's not about the money, then here's what it has to be about. If you're already making money, then we're going through world-leading tax, banking, and finance and credit strategies. So how do you accumulate more cash? And then a whole nother group of folks on the third is, if you have cash, what do you do with it? Because again, I think the asset classes are indiscriminate right now. You can do the market, you could do private money. Like, how many of you would like to own a restaurant or a store around your town and your community when you walk through this thing? You probably never thought about it, but you know what? I can guarantee you there's going to be businesses in your town that are shutting down today that are going to need help getting back up. So for the more advanced conversation, so all of these are going to be choices. And the way we're going to run it, Shay, is there's going to be a main room with me teaching. And then there's going to be breakout rooms, literally virtually, that you get to go to and have conversations with experts. And then you're going to come back together. I'm going to plan. By the end of it, you'll have a sequence. So I know that's not all on the copy right there, because we put this together very quickly. So sign up and register, and we'll get more detail. And in fact, I'll probably, ask us to clip out this section. So I'll have this video describing why people need to come. So it's for all ranges. And if you think it's too intermediate for you, like too elementary, then click on it anyway. And if you end up going to a private one-on-one with me, we'll apply your $97. Just start doing something and learn money today.
So you can go over to www.happyentrepreneurstribe. That's www.happyentrepreneurstribe.com. As soon as you look right there at the top, you will see the marketplace is open special from Loral Langemeier. It's right there. It's right there. You can go over there right now. And once you click the link, now, as long as that special still says $97, you can get in no matter what time you see this. I know for some of you, it's morning, it's evening, it's afternoon. Depends on wherever you are in the world right now. This is something, and this is from the bottom of my heart. She said, Shay, we just put this together today. And she was honest. I was right there with her before we got started. And she was working with the team and said, I want to do something because the world needs this now more than ever. If there was ever a time they needed the help, she's here. And I'm so glad she decided to do this special broadcast because the message needs to be heard. Laura, if you can, for those folks that are out there, you can hit the share button. You can hit the watch party button. You can do that right now. You can pay this message forward. And just when you do that, you can say, it's time to live out loud. I like that. No, it's time to live out loud because you can do that. You can do this and you can start where you are. Why? Because Laura, we have this core value here at the Happy Entrepreneur Show called Today is my January 1st. And today is my January 1st. For those folks that know about this, you can look right below the video right now, like Eric that's out there and Kayla's out there and Michael Sharp that's out there and Barrett Matthews. And you can already write, today is my January 1st because she's giving you a new start. For those that are hearing it for the very first time, welcome all the new viewers. Today is my January 1st represents that moment. And there's probably 1,000+ moments throughout the day where you make a decision. And that decision could change the trajectory of your life, right? You either work out while you're home, or you go sit on the couch. You either eat hamburgers and French fries, or you go to the refrigerator, you open it up, and there's some kale. Oh, that sounds good. There's some broccoli. That's really good. There's some Brussels sprouts. Oh, yummy, yummy. And it's a January 1st. It's a do-over. It's a fresh start. Your past doesn't equal your future. Laurel, the question I like to ask for those folks that are listening right now, when you hear those words, today is my January 1st, what does it mean to you?
Oh, everything you just said. And what's interesting is, I was just processing my January 1st. So I'm a big, big, big believer in that. In fact, since my kids were 3, I have taught them how to goal set for a January 1. So we complete a year and we start a new year, and we have a very structured way that we set January 1. So so I didn't know that about your show before I got on, but I think January 1 and your birthday are just pivotal spiritual days. So that's what I think about January 1. It really, really stoked about it. So for me, what comes up for me personally, my January 1, and I started the show with this, is that 2020 was my transition year. Only God knew that this transition would not be where I thought I was going to be transitioning. It would be transitioning online to online broadcasting. So I get this message about money broader to the world. And I don't know that the transition I was planning was going to be the transition. And I would love to just encourage people, implore people, take money seriously. It's not about money to me, it's money to you. How are you going to live? Go back to your January 1 instead of saying I'm going to get rich. Make it real this year. I am right here for $97. I mean, and by the way, we're not these weird people who take you in and out of our database. You're going to get put into this online coaching. You don't have to pay for that. I just made that up. My team's going to go, oh, you did not just do that. But I just know the help. Some of you need so much help because you got the whole money conversation wrong. And you've been listening to very traditional folks. I mean, if you want to stay really, 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 really square in a bubble, that does not work today. I'm going to say this, Shay, and it's really, and it's not to make these people wrong, that their advice is not relevant today. It's Susie Orman, Dave Ramsey, David Bach. You cannot get a job, maximize a 401k, and get out of debt. That does not work. You're actually going to go into some really good debt. You're going to recreate your job and maybe be an entrepreneur online. And your 401k is a disaster. So, I mean, none of that works. So all this stuff that some of you have been taught, and I love, like you said, every day's a new day. Most of you, you've been taught that managing your checkbooks the way you manage money. No, how you manage money is through a P&L and a balance sheet. Let's teach real money to real people that care about you and your family. Look at your kids and say, my gosh, I owe it to them. Right? Your kids need to be part of this. And by the way, have your kids come. When you buy this ticket, this is for your whole family should be around the screen. And then your whole family needs to be out helping. So your whole family, we're going to have competitions too of who makes the most money. So I want somebody to make thousands of dollars from this. I mean, it's not going to be hard. You should be able to make $97 from that day on every day of your life. It's to make easy.
Yeah.
Easy.
You said so well. When you think of it right now, people are writing, today is my January 1st. They're excited like they were back on December 31st after a couple of drinks.
And write it down to your point. Make sure you write down those January 1st goals.
Yeah.
Have to. I want one of those shirts. So I'm gonna spin this a little bit there, Shay.
Go ahead.
So can they buy those shirts from you?
I guess we could. I mean, yeah, I guess I can make them available. Absolutely.
Yes, is the right answer.
Yes.
So you're going to come. I want to just have you be a gift. I'm going to gift you my next week. Okay. So you're going to register and I'll fix your 97 so you come for free. We've been doing this. I'm having fun. I want you to sell those shirts.
You want me to sell these shirts? Okay. Well, I will start selling these shirts.
How much do you sell those shirts for? $10, $15?
We'll sell them for $15. I don't know.
So now you're going to go get, this is how it's going to work next week, folks. So I had to model it.
And they know I have never sold this shirt before in my life, by the way, online. But we're going to expand our comfort zone. We're going to do it.
Exactly. And you're going to expand your company. And if you don't know how to do it, my team does. So we'll collaborate. And, I get a free shirt and you get my free workshop. I usually rarely do free. So I'm doing weird things I normally do. But I know how to help you get that shirt up and see you're going to need it for next week. Because then, you're going to come onto the marketplace and say, hey, people, y'all need a new January 1st. You're going to make so much money. I might have to partner with you. I have so many money ideas for you now.
See, this is how it works. You guys all need to be there. Make sure you're there. This is unscripted. This is unrehearsed. There is no script. She didn't send me a list of questions I had to ask or anything. She said, Shay, let's just have a real conversation for real people who have real problems, who are looking for real solutions. And if we can do that, then I am the answer to someone's headache right now. And I do believe that to be the case. Laura, thank you so much. I know we're in overtime, by the way, so I'm going to give you a final question. We're in overtime, but I want you to close up. I want to first say thank you for being on the show, number one. Secondly, thank you for that offer. I'm posting that over into the group. Again, you can take that link and you can post it to your page. You can share it out to your network. You can email it out as long as it's available. You can go right there. There's no code or anything. You just got to go right there. It says 97. Click on it. Whatever the price is, get it. If it goes up to 197, get it. Okay. But get in while you can now. That's number one. So let me thank you for being here. Let me thank Eric Swanson for having us here. Swanson.
He does this, right? You have to do this. We have to point at each other. Remember? Eric always does that. There
yeah. I gotta give it to Eric Swanson, man. Eric Swanson, she knows his idiosyncrasies inside and out. He does do that. I didn't even think about that. He does do that for bringing us together. And so thanks a lot, Laura. Before we close out, two things that happen. One, I'm gonna give it to you to have your closing comments, your final thoughts for those folks that are out there. These lights will go off. And through the power of these fiber optic lines, we won't be here until they connect with you again online or they connect with me again online. And they now got to go execute. Nothing happens without action, as you already know. So they got to go take action, go to the special link, make sure you get to the marketplace. That's an action. And number two, take action on some things she mentioned. So I'm going to give it to you to close out. So let me go ahead and hand it over to you, man. Once again, thank you so much. It's so amazing to be with the mentor and be right here with her right now. You rock. You're amazing. You're incredible. And I can't wait till next week.
So again, action. So here's what I'm going to say about action is even taking a step forward. Like you're spending $97 on odd things. Make the virus, like for you and your family, when people think about 1929, you hear your grandparents talk about stories of, how it was in the Great Depression, recession. We're in one technically, and we're going to walk through it. Have this time be the moment where you and your family changed your financial trajectory. Like the greatest transfer of wealth is going to happen. It can be you. Don't be back. Oh, it can't be me. It's not me. That's all staged. Bullshit. It's not staged. This could be you. Have this moment where you go back and say, there's a virus in my lifetime. And that virus caused an event where we all were home. And we as a family, or you listening, changed the entire trajectory of your family's financial life. I made that decision when I was 17, 18 years old to do it for my family and create generational wealth. Didn't come from money. You don't have to. This can be your moment. So have this be your moment because every step forward is going to lead you to something else. When I jumped in 1997 or 96 to go work with Robert and Sharon, nobody knew who Rich Dad Poor Dad was. Everybody in the world knows it now. So, I'm interviewed sometimes, Shay, and this is my kind of final thought is, and kind of message for you is some people say, you left a massive corporate job. I did. I was making a ton of money in a huge corporate job, big 401k, all that stuff I was told is going to make me fabulous. And literally when I left, I was told by some of the executives of that company, you're going to go follow a Japanese guy in a game around. What the hell are you doing? And I said, you know what? If nothing happens and nothing, Rich Dad Poor Dad didn't become what it is and the secret didn't become what it was, there would have been another thing because I took another step. And a lot of you are not walking. You're not even taking another step to have a new perspective and then another step. And who cares if you don't make money next week? I can't guarantee because I'm not in your household doing what I'm asking you to do. You're going to learn so much. And people that are coming to that, it's really a fulfillment event are people who already spent $750. And when the room fills up, because we are going to close it at 100, we already have another one staged in May. So you can come back in May. And if you're really nice, we might even let you revisit for free. So we're just making it up. We're here to serve. And Shay, thank you for this time. And just honor you. I love that T-shirt. So either way, whether you go live with those shirts, which I How many people out there? I'd love for them to share. Say, I want a shirt. I want a shirt. Give him the sizes so he can make his first order. Like, go, go, go. He'll collect the money in a moment. So I want one of those shirts. I love it. Thank you.
You got it. You got it. You just never know, man. You got to be open. She is funny. She's hilarious. With that being said, you guys have been watching the Happy Entrepreneur Show. Thank you so much. I want you to know that you're amazing, that you are incredible. And for you, the best is yet to come. Why? Because you now understand how to handle money. The best is yet to come. Why? And today is your January 1st, because you're now going to be off to the market. And for you, today is your January 1st. Because you're finally going to get that business off the ground. You're going to generate that income. You're going to have financial freedom. You're going to make a bigger difference in the world. You make a difference in a dollar at the same time. You can do that. With that being said, my name, by the way, is Shay Brown, the Happy Entrepreneur. Make it a great day, everyone. And I promise you, from the bottom of my heart, we'll make some good things happen. We connect again next time. Remember, time is long. Life is short. Live in the moment and enjoy it. God bless. Until next time, Laura, hold on for a moment. We'll be right with you. God bless all of you. I made to my mom. I only did this message for one person, and that's my mom. This is for you, Mom. Love you. My name is Shay Brown, the Happy Entrepreneur. Make it a great day, everyone. Thank you. Thank you. Thank you.
All right, Shay Brown.
Mic check, mic check.
All I do is win, no matter what. Got money on my mind, I can never get enough. And every time I step up in the building, everybody hands go up.
Yes. Yeah.
And they stay there. And they stay there, and they stay there. Cause all I do is win. Yeah.
Thank you. God bless.